Another issue in divorce is whether a party is entitled to receive alimony or whether the other party needs to pay alimony. Alimony is always a tricky issue which leads to a lot of fight and contention amongst the parties in a divorce. In order to determine alimony, the court is going to follow what is called a needs basis analysis. So what happens is the court takes two columns, and for the mother and for the father, or the husband and the wife. And so for the wife, they're going to give all income that that person makes. If that person is not employed, but there is no reason why she could not be employed, the court would at least impute a minimum wage to her of $1,257 per month. Next, they would also give to her income that she would be receiving from her husband by way of child support. That would then become an adjusted gross income with that calculation. The court would pick some number such as 15, 20, or 25% and take that off of the imputed income or income that that person receives in order to determine the tax liability, which then gives them an adjusted net. From that, the individual then is entitled to deduct reasonable and necessary expenses for their monthly living. That could include the house payment or rent, utilities, food, sundry items, transportation cost, all of those types of things which a person would normally incur during the month. After that is done, at the end, if there is a negative balance, that would show a need for alimony. If it was a positive balance, then there would not be a need for alimony. Next is whether or not the other person who is being sought to pay alimony has the ability to pay alimony. And they do the same analysis with that person. They're going to give that person their total gross income. They're going to deduct from the husband or the wife what they pay in child support to the other. Again, use the same number as far as the tax deductions, and then go through those monthly living expenses as to what is reasonable and necessary. If at the end of those calculations, the husband in this particular situation would show a positive income, then it would show the ability to pay some amount of alimony. It might not be an amount sufficient to meet the needs of the other individual, but it would still be taken into consideration of what could be paid. There was always much argument as to what are reasonable and necessary expenses, and the court quite often will pare down those expenses as it relates to the person requesting alimony, and often you will find that the person who is thinking they might have to pay alimony will also increase their expenses to try to show less income. And the court quite often will pare down those expenses as well. Quite often where those expenses are pared down, for example, are contributions to retirement. That portion of it, which is the employee share that they are paying, is considered a voluntary contribution, and the court can eliminate that contribution or that deduction. Another area can be in the area of gifts given to others. The court might say that although that might be nice, your first obligation is to the other party, and therefore remove that deduction. Alimony is not always a simple calculation, and it's one that usually requires an advice of legal counsel and attorney to help determine that. My name is Kevin Richards. I've been a practicing divorce lawyer for 25 years. And we can help you through this landmine called divorce. You can find more about us by going to our website, richardsgodfrey.com. Thank you.